Welcome to the Beyond Sunday podcast.
Business as usual.
The podcast where we're helping you take your faith beyond Sunday and into your everyday, completely different, abnormally weird life that you're living. My name is Chael Branda, and I serve as the executive director here at Trinity New Life Church, and I'm joined by lead pastor Clayton Bell. Hey, Clayton, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Just, like you said, life is normal. Sorry, totally. These are new earphones for me, so I'm getting used to what they sound like. This phrase of taking faith beyond Sunday and into your everyday life is going to take on a whole new meaning over the next bit of time. And I say that because I am tired of saying what I think the period of time is.
I mean, I don't know. I think every time we've looked at a calendar in the last 3 days, we've gone, it's only been 3 days. It hasn't been 3 years.
Right. Every time
has slowed down.
This is great YouTubing. By the way, I am untangling a cable. I can't stand when they get like that, but we're going to have to just let it go. So this is episode 101 of the Beyond Sunday podcast. And what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to give you a lot of information about how things have changed for Trinity New Life Church. A lot of this is going to be available at trinitynewlife.com/update. It's one of the places that we have created to keep all of the changes in one place for TNLC. We're trying to let people know, but every company you've ever given your email address to is emailing you to let you know about how they're updating their policies. And I was like, cool, thanks, Old Navy. And then they emailed me the next day to tell me it's 50% off tanks and teas.
And you were very excited.
Yeah, I was like,
just the information.
Great, yeah.
The other great place that you can find we're going to talk about a lot of links, a lot of places to go.
The link to that is always going to be also, if you forget if it's update or updates, the front page of TNLC has been...
exactly what I was going to say.
You said a different resource.
I said if you're all of the resources, any link we talk about, most everything that we're going to reference today, you can find at trinitynewlife.com. We've completely redone the home page of the website to give you quick links to almost every area of TNLC, to find updates, to find where you can find YouTube and the app. And if you're like, I'm not sure, I would say start there. Start at trinitynewlife.com. If you have a question, if you're like, I don't remember what they said, if you could start there, you're probably going to find it.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a lot more online, but we're having to do a lot more online. I don't know when you're going to listen to this. You're probably going to listen to this after this takes place. But Tuesday night at 7 p.m., we're going to be hosting a live YouTube prayer event. Kelly and I are going to be hosting that from our house. I don't know where. I was going to say living room, but I don't know if it's going to be living room. It's probably going to be our kitchen table because the lighting's better.
I was going to say, wherever the lighting is good is where you'll find them.
And then we're going to be doing a lot more stuff on here. All right, so let's just dive into this. Let's do the awards at the end. That's our way we're going to be able to give you...
We have everybody's names who commented on... It's so funny how time works, because last podcast we were celebrating the anniversary. We were doing all of these exciting things, and we did have comment on there how long you've been coming to TNLC, and we were putting you in a drawing for all of the new decade merch that we have. We do have those names, and we are going to draw a winner today. That was priority. That was the first thing we put on our list today.
Right.
But we've had a lot happen since our last podcast.
So let's talk about the biggest change since our last podcast. We put green tiles on the back wall.
And there's some texture. I actually really love the texture look on it.
1 inch. So you're getting this. So we realized we were shooting in front of a black screen on a black table, and a lot of times we wore dark shirts, and by we, I mean me. So we wanted to add a little bit of texture because we figured we're going to be sitting here a lot more over the next coming period of time, weeks yet to be determined, months, etc. I don't know. I don't know.
The foreseeable future.
For the foreseeable future, that's the language we're using.
Yes.
So we changed that. The other big thing is as of 4:33 on Tuesday, what has moved from no gatherings of more than 250 people on Sunday night moved to no gatherings of more than 50 people for 8 weeks. And then Monday, the video clip of everyone and their mother gathering on Florida beaches didn't play well in the media.
Not too well.
So today, Governor DeSantis handed down a decree, an order from on high.
Was it a recommendation or was it a official?
I believe we have moved away from recommendations, and that it should not be more than 10 people gathered together. So that means what we were already at this point on Sunday night when they said no more gatherings of 50 or more for the next 8 weeks, that we were going to have to move our services to online, even if we had finagled a way to get 49 people into a room and that's it, we would absolutely be violating the intent of the law and trying to work around rather than do our part to help flatten the circle, flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve.
Not the circle.
Not a circle.
How do you flatten a circle? You just turn it on turn it sideways.
Becomes a hole.
Time is a flat circle. I didn't watch True Detective. Is that what it's called? True Detective?
True Detective.
Oh.
I haven't watched it either, but I happen to know that in particular.
That True Detective sounds like something from True American is what I was thinking of from New Girl. The game they always played that seemed completely nonsensical, but apparently did have rules.
Looked like fun.
Yeah, so time is a flat circle, but also we want to flatten the curve. We want to be able to honor that. So what we've done is we're going completely online for our services.
Yep.
New Life Students is going to be moving to a live YouTube web stream Wednesday nights at 6:30. So their first one, the 17th, on the 18th, is going to be hosted on this channel, but our recommendation is going to be subscribed to not only this TNLC channel, but to anybody who's involved in our student ministry to subscribe to this channel and to subscribe to the student one. Parents, we're doing that. Like my daughter cannot get on YouTube on her own. She just can't be browsing around. So we're going to be there with her. But the reason we wanted to do it on YouTube was so that kids could be chatting and interacting with each other.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why we're going to be doing it there. We're letting Colin have his dream job of finally being able to be a YouTube star. And
it really is his dream job.
It really is.
He came in with a microphone today and set it on his desk. I was like, you're really proud that you finally get to dust that off and use it, don't you? And he was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so excited. Well, okay, well, maybe he didn't say it quite like that because he's going to text me later and be like, that's not what I said. But it's really what he meant in his heart.
There are some interesting history of Colin and YouTube. Yeah. It's been discussed a little bit. So just depending upon how your Googler works.
You need to, in YouTube, you need to go ahead and search New Life Students to find the New Life Students YouTube page and go ahead and like that. And while you're at it, maybe
like and subscribe.
Maybe go ahead and search in YouTube Demon Squad and see what happens to pop up.
See, I didn't know any particular thing to reference. So that's what's taking place with our main services. That's what's taking place with New Life Students. Shine has been canceled all the way until we are able to gather together again. Discipleship groups. The information is going to go out very soon of what we're doing there. But again, gatherings of 10, we're going to be moving to digital. Part of the reason in that is that we don't want to create situations where some people are okay meeting, some parts of their group are not okay meeting, and they feel left out, or some groups are small, some groups are big. Our official TNLC policy is going to be that everybody move online, and we're going to be emailing our group leaders suggestions of ways to be able to do that. Again, I know you might be able to technically get people together, and we're not your bosses, we're not the government, we can't make you do anything, but from an organizational standpoint, we don't want you to stop meeting. We want you to connect even more with each other.
Right.
We want you to spend even more time with each other. But we just are asking that for right now, you do that digitally when it comes to TNLC events. That's what's taking place with groups. What about with New Life Kids?
New Life Kids, we are actually going to start a handful of things. We really want to make sure that not only are you joining us on Sunday mornings, I think that our Sunday mornings live stream service is a great thing for entire families to... I'm
just saying the AC just cut off and it's going to get real hot. It might be
under my sweater. Hold on. It is under my sweater.
Yeah.
We're going to turn the air conditioner
Folks, it was about to get
very warm in here. Anyways, New Life Kids, we really think our live stream services on Sunday morning are going to be great for the whole family. So we want the whole family to come and enjoy those services, those moments. But we are going to have some additional things for the kids. Carly Schrader and her team are working together to put together some of the Grow videos so the kids can watch the lessons that they would have learned on a Sunday. And we're going to start drive-through Sunday school, where we're going to give these opportunities 2 times on the weekend, on Saturday and on Sunday. And those times we'll be posting and letting parents know you can actually just drive through, and we are with gloves and everything, putting together some packets for families to drive through, roll down a window, take a bag, and it'll have all the supplies that are needed for the kids to complete their lessons that week. In that, there's going to be some drive-through moments for even our adults. We are looking at ways of getting self-contained communion to everybody throughout this situation. And I mean, we were still planning on partying for our Decade series this week. So I've got 400 cookies, the individually wrapped cookies that are going to be delivered to my house this week.
Are they still going to be delivered?
They're still going to be delivered because I paid for them. So they're all individually wrapped and fresh. And from Cheryl's cookies. I mean, they're nice cookies.
All right.
So
Good job,
we're gonna figure out how to get cookies to everybody and join in the continued celebration that is our 10th anniversary.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Happy birthday, TNLC.
Yeah, we're going to be setting up time periods where we're going to be getting you some self-contained communion elements. Although if you have juice and bread at home, that's still going to be a part of our service. Yeah. We're going to be streaming our services at 8:30, 10, and 11:30, just like we normally do. Now, they're going to be all pre-recorded, so that's not going to be something where we're actually going to be having live elements. I just actually got off a call with 15 other pastors from our Every Nation movement around the world, and they were saying that those who were doing actual live things found they were having some glitches, and there's going to be a lot of people. So trying to be able to do that, that's also going to require us to have people in the building. So we're going to try to work on trying to make it not exactly just like how we do normal Sunday, enough of it to feel comfortable, but then adapting it so that, because we understand that you're going to be watching these from a screen now. And so we want to make sure it's an experience that is focused on how you're going to consume it. But each of those services are going to have a live chat on our church online platform. Now, we might stream on some of the other ones. We don't know quite yet what we're going to do, but at trinitynewlife.com, you're going to find our live stream link, and you're going to be able to bookmark that. And again, if you're tech savvy at all, I'd recommend trying to figure out ways to be able to cast that to your TV, or to be able to huddle around your laptop, or maybe even getting your laptop to somehow use your television as an external monitor, whether that's a Chromecast, an Apple TV, or a simple HDMI out. That way you can be participating in the chat. It's probably a lot easier to throw the screen up onto your television and consume it and watch it, but I think you're really going to miss getting a chance to interact with your fellow members of the church and everybody else kind of popping in. One of the things Mason asked me, he said, did you think about, he's like, what am I doing on Sunday morning? Am I like helping to facilitate the chat or do something like that? And I was like, yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah, probably. Just be on the lookout for it. I was like, I haven't thought of that yet.
That's on my list. That's kind of my world. Anyways,
everything is thinking in lists and stuff like that.
Great thing about this.
Okay. Are you going to go to the night one?
But yeah, go
ahead.
Go. So one of the great things about this, because it's all pre-recorded, because we have this footage, was can we not limit it only to our normal service times, but we're actually going to add a 5:30, yes?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm like, I'm pretty sure. A 5:30 p.m. live stream service as well. So if you are, social distancing yourself and you're walking in the mornings and that's your routine and that's what you're doing, and you want to do a 5:30 p.m. service, then you can join us there as well. And it's going to be able to give us more opportunities for more people to come in and to interact in the chat, to interact with each other, to do these things. One of the big things that you'll see, and we'll continue to remind you during those services, are everything's digital. So we even have a brand new digital connection card, and that digital connection card is going to be a great way for us to make sure that we have all of the current information, because we do keep talking about this unforeseeable future. The idea of knowing where you're at. Do we have your updated contact information? Do we have these types of things? That's going to become a little bit more important to us, to make sure that we're caring for our spiritual family in the best possible ways possible.
I got it.
I'm like, you're good? Did you fix it now? See, this is what you're missing if you're not on YouTube, because Clayton is twitching.
Guys, I don't understand why so many of you are watching on YouTube. But I appreciate it. Our subscribers, when we first started this, I think we've added somewhere around 40 to 50 subscribers.
I think we have.
And our view numbers on this podcast have like doubled or tripled. Sometimes some quadrupled.
There are a few of them. I'm like, what? The people love church history. I think church history is still our most watched.
Okay, so this is going to go into this. This is going to go into this. One of the things that we're going to be doing during this time is, because you're just sitting around and you're going to be looking at your phone, and you're going to be sitting in front of your TV going, whoop, 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 whoop. That's my sound of the Netflix menu cue. That's like the boop, 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 boop. No whammies. Anyways, so we're going to be ramping up our content creation, because this is going to be the best way for us to be able to get in and help you to grow as disciples. Because, guys, we may be, I don't know, say locked in the closet or trapped in the closet or whatever that terrible R. Kelly song was. But we might be on a social distancing and a physical distancing, but we don't want you to stop growing as disciples. We don't want you to stop making disciples. We want you to be thinking about that. We want you to be engaging in the Word in an even greater way. So yesterday was a whole lot of planning, and even today this is getting out way later than we would have liked to have gotten it out. But so Mondays, our schedule right now is Mondays is going to be Beyond Sunday. Wednesday is going to be New Life Students live stream, even though that's primarily going to be on their channel. For right now, we want that to be the main YouTube event. Now, Thursdays, okay, and then Sundays, obviously, is going to be all day of services. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday are up for opportunities. Now, we keep getting these questions of, now, what we're not going to do is we're not going to put out other 30-minute, 25-minute YouTube clips on that day. This is going to be stuff that's going to be 10 minutes and under. Actually, I'd really like to keep it to like 7 or 8 minutes. I'd love to be able to start getting into some even like, practicality of discipleship and devotion. But I know that you guys have asked some weird questions. Because I'm still messing with it?
Well, that too. I just had this never mind. We'll talk later. I have a name for it, but I'm not saying it on air yet.
We already said we couldn't keep calling it the BS podcast.
We can't call this the BS podcast. We said that from the beginning, and it's slowly creeping more and more as we've been.
Well, that's because the BS podcast is actually
Bill Simmons.
That's Bill Simmons. He's had that one for a while, and he's one of the most popular podcasters in the world. So, no, we're not going to attempt to overtake that. Whether it's the name of a podcaster in California or the coffee company in Australia,
who knows?
We don't want to try to take any other copyright information. Logos are logos, names are names.
Yes.
So we just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to continue to build this brand here. So if you have basically, we probably build a show off of one question, and we'd just be answering those. So what's your weird question? What's the weird question? In fact, this is what you're going to comment below today,
on this
folks.
Show today.
You
were having issues with the headphones today. We're going back to the old headphones. That is just answered.
I agree. Sorry.
Right like that. Sorry, Nick.
Watts. Yeah,
he's going back to the other one.
Chris Monty said this at the beginning of the coronavirus stuff. He goes, I never realized how much I like to touch my face.
And now all I can do is think about it.
Oh my gosh, I was going to massage it on Monday, and I just kept touching. I guess it was yesterday, which feels like 4 days ago. I just kept touching my face. I was like, everything itches, and I was like, oh, she's probably going to think that I'm like, no, she's like, he's touching his. Anyways, that was a whole bunch of nonsense. What's your weird question? I want you to comment below. I want you to ask a theology question. I want you to ask story. I want you to ask what is. I want you to ask for recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to ask a question about Bible reading. I want you to ask a question about a scripture.
That's good.
Now, you may not like my answer.
But ask the question.
Ask the question. You can ask me about, this is where it's going to get tougher, is so much of the way we talk about, when you're out in your community or when you're at work, and
nobody's doing all of those things.
Nobody's doing those things right now. So I think that's what you have to think through.
I was asked a question once, what would you do if
for
as
a Klondike
church
bar?
What would you do? Anyways, I was asked the question about if your services this is a communication question. A lot of church communicators go back to this, but if your church doesn't meet on Sunday morning, what would you talk about? And it's interesting because that was a very quick Google for me, through my thing, is what if our church didn't exist on, as far as social?
What would you talk about?
Yeah, they were talking about primarily about your social content.
Oh, because most churches, their social content is just
come to Sunday, come to Sunday, come to
here's
Sunday.
Here's a picture of all the things happening on Sunday that you didn't come to for the people who were already there.
Right.
Just checking.
So the idea is, and honestly, that question has formed some of the way that TNLC has looked at our social stuff, but even more so now is going, hey, if we can't be in our, what would we how would we share the gospel? How would we make disciples if we're not allowed in our community? If we're
that's
not allowed
the question
at work?
that we're asking.
So that is exactly where we're going to dive into some of those thoughts.
Yeah, I find myself personally re-engaging in Facebook a little bit. Some of the toxicity for me in Facebook has been kind of thinned out a little bit, and the break I was taking. And so I got to be honest, rather than just scrolling through for so much stuff, I'm going on to kind of create the content to put stuff out there. I'll probably be on Instagram a lot more, probably actually through the church channel, trying to explore some things I'm thinking about with creating devotional thoughts on a daily basis, because let's be honest, unless we go to like 27 dashes, you're checking your phone 4 to 6 times a day. What are you doing? You're like, it's clogging my social feed. No, you're like, I'm bored. I'm bored.
It's true life, true story.
So what's your question?
Yep.
What's the story? What's the thing that you want to ask? We've got one already.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a few, actually.
It's not below. It was emailed.
And
I know everybody's been, you can email podcast if you don't want the public to see what your question is. What was that old, there's no stupid questions, just stupid people asking questions. I don't know that that's true, but let's find out.
Ask the question.
Ask the question.
We will determine whether it's a stupid question or not.
Right. And we might break these up into like, hey, this is a fun day. And then, hey, here's a real, like we might just be firing off these questions. But if we can get them under 7-8 minutes. We'll come in and answer some of those and be able to move forward with it. But that's some of the things that we're doing. So that's the adjustment to all of our services, discipleship groups, New Life students, Shine, New Life kids. And just, this is what we kind of were saying this a little bit at the beginning, but I just want to say it again. This is Pastor Russ, my pastor, when the call we were on, we got off, this is the way he ended. He goes, I'm tired of saying, here's what the future is going to hold. Meaning, I am not trying to tell you I know when we're coming back to services, because I don't think anybody knows.
Right.
I think it's much easier to go, surprise, we get to come back into services, than to go, oh man, I put my hope that this is when I was going to do it.
That's good.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to pray and believe that God is going to move in and through his people to bring hope, to bring love, to bring joy, to bring peace. That's one of the, and one of the things we're going to talk about in our prayer call tonight. But we are going to continue to make disciples.
Right.
I think if you're sitting and waiting around for everything to return back to normal, you feel a higher level of anxiety than if you said, this is how things are. So now how do I live in this new normal? And then when another normal comes up, I'll adjust to that. Now that's really easy to say. I understand. There are people who can't go to work, and there are people whose they can't go to work because they work around too many people, and they can't go to work because their work isn't open.
Right.
And that creates a whole different kind of level of anxiety and fear. But you don't like this is not a natural disaster where, like, when Irma came a couple years ago, we knew that Irma was eventually going to pass over.
Right.
I think it literally passed over this building. We don't know what that looks like. So let's not, it has to be done by now. We're going to get back to this. Like, we don't know. And I think when we can be more honest about that and come from that place, it puts us in a position to go, I'm going to live in this here and now. I'm going to really start looking at the adjustments and changes that I need to make. I'm going to look at how I can keep my health. I can keep my, food, physical. Come on, air conditioning. What are you doing? Why do you keep going? Oh, no, it needs to come back on. We only got down 2 degrees. But let's be thinking about that. Let's be thinking about, how do I adjust to this life now? Now, again, we know for some of our homeschool families, we're having to social distance. Like, I think the Hugerwerfs are going to have to get into their house.
They do. They have to separate.
Or I think Levi is being
banned.
Levi's on the trading block. There's some opportunity. So if you'd like to trade for a 12-year-old, a good work ethic, future draft picks and cash considerations.
If you are less than 10 people in your family and would like to take in a child, I hear the Hugerwerfs are giving away children.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up so we can get this video out. But we wanted to kind of give you a bunch of updates and then again ask, what's the question that you have? What's the thing that's coming up that you want to see us talk about? Again, Mondays is going to be the Beyond Sunday podcast. Wednesdays is going to be, we want the focus to be on New Life students. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we've got opportunity to be able to get in front of you, give you a little quick entertainment, and then come back together as soon as we can. And then Sundays, again, remember, 8:30, 10 o'clock, 11:30, and 5:30. It's a pre-taped service.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be pre-taped. There's not like some secret band that's going to be coming together on Sunday morning, some secret worship experience, but it's going to be hosted live. You're going to have you're going to have leaders, not just one leader, but leaders in every single one of those. So you get a chance to interact. It's going to get a chance to talk with folks. So let's just stay flexible. Let's be asking questions. I know a lot of people want to do a lot of help right now, but bringing a bunch of people together is kind of what we're trying to avoid. So,
and we're still working out even logistics on our end of all the things.
All I can tell you is this. When we get back from this and we're back in full swing and it comes to service and volunteering, I don't want to hear anybody tell me they need a break.
Everybody's on a serving sabbatical right now.
Of Ross Geller, we're on a break.
I think that one of the best things that...
And we're going to draw.
Right. I think one of the best things that we have been able to see in this last week and be able to understand is exactly when we take this sermon for this last week, Beyond Sunday, and talk about this chief cornerstone and this idea of what is our foundation laid on. And as TNLC goes, we have laid a foundation of our mission being to make disciples. And that's not going to stop whether we're in person or we're online. And we are hoping and praying for everybody out there to find how you can help make a disciple in maybe your house or in your online communities, in the places that you have access and reach to. Maybe it's through Slack to your work company, wherever you find yourself through this, that we can continue to do that, because that's the foundation that TNLC has been laid upon, and the idea of us personally with our chief cornerstone, like this is going to be a very new and interesting thing.
Yep.
But it's going to be something that I think that on the end, when we get through this, we're going to look back at this and be like, that's what God was doing. So
yep. All right.
I'm going to hold this up high so you can't see any of these names.
So remind the people what they're winning.
Okay.
Remind the person what they've won.
The person who's about to win is going to win a Decades t-shirt, which, spoiler alert, those are going to come online for you to purchase because pre-orders got stopped pretty early. So we're going to do one more pre-order online, so you'll be able to get those. You also win a pair of TNLC socks. They were incredible. I saw several people today for St. Patrick's Day were wearing them.
Oh,
shout out Bethany McDonald for that. And you get a brand new, never before seen and not seen. I should have brought it on the episode. Like, they're in my office. We have TNLC dad hats. They're black dad hats with the TNLC logo in gray.
And that going to pair well with all of you out there with the dad bod.
So all three of those things are going to the winner.
Who is? No, I won't.
Sorry, that person he just put back.
Yeah, sorry, that person. It is Erica Ritchie. Congratulations.
There you are, Erica. We are going to mail it to you, so you don't even have to come here to get it.
This is our TNLC wedding gift to you.
To you.
That's true. So, all right, congratulations to Erica Ritchie. Guys, comment below the questions that you want us to, questions that need answering. And then me, you, a variety of people, alone, you alone.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out. So looking forward to continuing to be in front of you guys a little bit more and to continue on our mission of making disciples who change the world. We'll see you soon.
Have a great week, everyone.